Think and Grow Rich. This book is a practical guide to mindset development, spanning 267 pages. The author presents numerous effective life principles that help cultivate a positive mindset, form reasonable desires, and achieve a sense of control in life through positive psychological suggestions. The author, Napoleon Hill, is considered the founding father of self-help literature. He influenced two U.S. presidents, Wilson and Roosevelt, and was known as the maker of millionaires, becoming a household name in America. Hill's life changed dramatically when he met Andrew Carnegie, the American steel magnate. At age 25, while working as a magazine reporter, Hill interviewed Carnegie, who unexpectedly asked, "Would you be willing to take on an unpaid assignment?" The task would be to spend 20 years studying the world's most successful people. Hill agreed almost immediately, driven by his youthful ambition and desire for challenge. This assignment transformed his life. Carnegie introduced him to numerous prominent figures, including Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, George Eastman, founder of Kodak, and John D. Rockefeller. These interactions with industry leaders provided him with invaluable insights and experience. Upon publication, the book created an immediate sensation, with critics hailing it as an unprecedented masterpiece. To this day, it remains influential. Rather than merely encouraging readers to imitate successful people's traits, it provides specific steps to reach financial heights. While many are skeptical of self-help literature, viewing it as empty motivation that fades quickly, this book differs. It offers both philosophical principles and practical techniques, presented in concrete, actionable steps. The book's central secret is, thoughts are things that manifest into wealth. Whatever you believe and think about consistently will eventually materialize. All achievements and hard-earned wealth stem from the power of thought. Here, wealth isn't limited to material possessions, but includes spiritual abundance. Some might dismiss the idea that thoughts control actions as absurd. However, this isn't about mere daydreaming or wishful thinking. The author presents 13 principles: desire, faith, autosuggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, power of the mastermind, the mystery of sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, the brain, and the sixth sense. The author emphasizes that the first and most crucial principle is intense desire. This isn't just a wish or hope, but a driving force that excites you and spurs immediate action. Desire is the starting point of all achievement, and when properly harnessed, it transforms into action. Just as in Rich Dad, Poor Dad, where the rich dad emphasized his tremendous desire for money and never hid his determination to earn it, he created and executed plans based on this goal, ultimately achieving financial freedom. When desire takes hold, you feel energized and focused on achieving your goal. It's like gamers who stay up all night playing, driven by their desire to win, or binge watchers who forget everything else until they've finished a series. This distinguishes desire from mere fantasy. Desire prompts action, while fantasy creates temporary excitement that soon fades. The author illustrates this with a personal example about his son, who was born without ears. Doctors diagnosed him as permanently deaf and mute. However, Hill refused to accept this verdict, believing his son could hear and speak normally. Driven by the desire to help his son communicate, they bought a phonograph. Surprisingly, the child showed excitement when music played. They later learned about bone conduction, sound traveling through skull bones to the auditory nerve. Upon this discovery, Hill would speak to his son by placing his mouth near the back of his head. He constantly instilled the desires, "I can hear," and "I want to speak," in his son's mind. Every night, he carefully selected bedtime stories to build his son's confidence, imagination, and desire to hear others speak. At age 7, his son wanted to sell newspapers, though his mother hesitated, worried about his ability to hear customers. As it happened, one afternoon when the nanny wasn't watching, the child sneaked out and borrowed 60 cents from the neighbors. He bought newspapers wholesale and sold them until late in the evening. After deducting his costs, he earned $4.20 in just one afternoon. Isn't it remarkable? A child who was diagnosed as deaf and mute could sell newspapers on his own at such a young age. But the story doesn't end there. His life took a dramatic turn when he went to college. He received an electronic hearing aid, and when he put it on, something magical happened. He heard the sounds he had always longed to hear. The excited son wrote a letter to the hearing aid manufacturer, describing his experience and the joy of hearing sounds for the first time. His letter touched the manufacturer, who invited him to visit the factory. This sparked an even better idea. He wanted to help more people access hearing aids. He spent a month conducting thorough research, analyzing the manufacturer's entire marketing system, and developed a 2-year plan to expand the market globally. When he presented his plan, the company immediately offered him a position. You see, someone born with a disability, whose father had instilled in him the desire, I can hear, I can speak normally, combined with his own persistent efforts, could achieve success just like anyone else. If his father hadn't planted that desire, Blair would have remained deaf and mute. Moreover, the U.S. military survival manual begins by stating that many survival cases demonstrate how strong willpower can overcome numerous difficulties. Without food and water, or with water alone, people typically survive only about a week. Yet we often see rescue stories where survivors keep challenging our understanding of human endurance. The will to survive can buy us more time in desperate situations or when we're ill. Therefore, the author believes that having a strong desire is the first step to wealth. Once we have a clear desire for wealth, the next step is to change our mindset and behavior. On a conscious level, we must first build confidence through self-suggestion and subconscious programming. The principle of self-suggestion is a crucial component of Hill's success philosophy. It involves changing behavior and subjective experiences through suggestions and self-implemented stimuli received by our brain through sight, hearing, smell, taste, and touch. We often use self-suggestion in daily life, and it's familiar because it can alter our subconscious. Through self-suggestion, we can communicate our subjective intentions and desire for success to our subconscious mind, making it work for us. The Pygmalion effect in psychology demonstrates the power of self-suggestion. In Greek mythology, Pygmalion was a king who sculpted his ideal woman and fell in love with his creation. Moved by his sincere love, the goddess of love brought the statue to life, and Pygmalion married her. While this might sound like an unrealistic myth, American psychologist Rosenthal conducted a school experiment based on this story. They randomly selected students from the roster and claimed these students had shown high potential in tests. By the end of the semester, these students' grades were significantly higher than their peers. Researchers believe this occurred because teachers, accepting this suggestion, conveyed the message, "You are excellent," to these students through various means. They gave these students more attention in class, and the students, influenced by these suggestions, were motivated by the belief, "I am excellent," and studied harder. Therefore, they achieved better results. Conversely, if we label a naturally gifted child negatively, over time, they'll internalize this suggestion and believe they're merely mediocre. Since self-suggestion is so powerful, how can we implement it effectively? The author uses making money as an example and provides 5 steps. First, specify the exact amount of money you want to earn. Being wealthy is an abstract concept, but earning X amount is a concrete goal. Second, determine what you're willing to invest to achieve this financial goal. You can contribute your time, expertise, or any resources at your disposal. Third, set a specific timeline for achieving your financial goal. Goals need deadlines. Vague time frames don't trigger our immediate response. Fourth, develop a concrete plan to achieve your goal. Start implementing it immediately, regardless of whether you feel fully prepared. We often say, "I'll wait until conditions are perfect," but this mindset makes us miss many opportunities. Taking small, quick steps forward is the right approach. Fifth, write down the previous 4 points in detail on a piece of paper. Read them aloud twice daily, once before bed and once after waking up. You might feel self-conscious speaking aloud, but you'll gradually become comfortable with it. Repeated emphasis helps us psychologically accept these goals, emotionally connect with them, and eventually embed them in our subconscious. We can plant any desired belief into our subconscious, which eventually transforms into desire. The author believes that the subconscious is the bridge between finite thinking and infinite wisdom, enabling our wisdom to serve us. Many books suggest that combining rational logical thinking with the subconscious enhances our learning. Moreover, there are 2 types of subconscious thoughts: positive ones like desire, passion, and belief, and negative ones like fear, greed, and jealousy. These two types can't occupy your mind simultaneously, so we must ensure positive emotions dominate. Though we might not always consciously feel these dominant forces, they're like background processes, constantly recording our actions. These principles we've discussed are mental techniques, primarily operating at the consciousness level. You might think this is too abstract. We understand the theory, but how do we put it into practice? While there are many methods, let's focus on building a brain trust and developing willpower. To build wealth, we need certain knowledge. Knowledge alone won't automatically attract money, but in today's knowledge economy, expertise in services, products, or professional fields can be converted into corresponding wealth. Knowing how to acquire knowledge is more important than how much knowledge you possess. The best way to gain expertise is to have a mastermind group. Having such a group is more valuable than possessing vast amounts of knowledge. Members of a mastermind group provide two types of power: economic and spiritual. It consists of people who share common goals, have a strong sense of purpose, and are willing to dedicate themselves to achieving shared objectives. Each member brings their unique skills and makes corresponding contributions. An individual's capabilities are limited. Working with exceptional people is essential for achieving better results. The significance of a mastermind group lies in delegating tasks to more qualified experts who can indirectly help us solve problems. Steel magnate Andrew Carnegie had a mastermind group of 50 people. While he wasn't particularly expert in steel technology, his strength lay in leadership and creating shared spiritual goals. His group included operations specialists and technical experts. Whenever Carnegie faced challenges, group members would provide brilliant solutions, ultimately helping him overcome numerous powerful competitors to become the Steel King. How do you organize a mastermind group? First, gather talented individuals needed for wealth accumulation. Before recruiting members, clearly define what benefits you can offer each team member. In the adult world, people's contributions must be respected, and compensation isn't necessarily monetary. It can take other forms. Maintain weekly or bi-weekly meetings with group members. Today's social media platforms enable effective communication without physical meetings. Maintain absolutely harmonious relationships with group members. This doesn't mean constant pleasantries, but rather alignment on fundamental goals despite occasional conflicts and adjustments. The power of a mastermind group helps develop perseverance. To integrate into a high-efficiency team, we must continuously improve our determination and transform desires into wealth. Perseverance is essential, and while it's a human weakness, it's a cultivatable mindset. For steps to develop perseverance. 1. Have a clear purpose supported by intense desire. As mentioned, strong motivation helps overcome challenges. 2. Create a detailed plan with concrete actions. Well-organized plans provide encouragement, while vague plans are useless. 3. Resist negative influences, including pessimism from family, friends, and acquaintances. 4. Connect with people who encourage your plan's execution. Many social media groups support mutual goals like daily English learning or fitness routines with accountability check-ins. Wishes alone don't bring wealth. Develop specific plans backed by strong desires. Maintain persistent practice, and regularly review which elements of perseverance you lack. With strong willpower and support from a brain trust, one can ultimately achieve wealth. Let's discuss how sexual characteristics influence success. While you might find this success principle strange, needing desire, confidence, teamwork, and perseverance for wealth creation is understandable. But what exactly are these characteristics, and how do they relate to wealth creation? The author emphasizes their significant connection. Sexual energy stimulates the brain and acts as a catalyst for physical action. Sexual drive is powerful. People often risk their lives and honor for sexual expression. These natural, innate desires can't simply be suppressed or hidden. They need proper channels for expression, such as through literary creation, artistic expression, or other wealth-generating activities. Many literary works contain sexual elements as a form of expression. How should we handle sexual desire? The author's answer is, master it. This doesn't mean practicing abstinence or suppressing natural instincts, but rather transforming sexual energy into personal charisma. This includes handshakes, tone of voice, attitude, intellectual exchange, dress, and overall presence. Clean hands, a pleasant voice, natural grace, witty conversation, and appropriate attire all enhance our personal magnetism, which can lead to greater professional success. The author also discusses how imagination, decision-making, and intuition contribute to wealth creation. These principles build upon our desires and become effective after we've established confidence through self-suggestion. To summarize this book, as a masterwork of success literature, it teaches the correct mindset, maintaining positive thinking in all circumstances. Only positive thinking can break through confusion and obstacles. Desire leads to success, while self-suggestion and the subconscious help build confidence and cultivate the desire for success. The steps of self-suggestion are defining clear goals, identifying necessary actions, setting timelines, creating specific plans, and repeatedly affirming these plans. In practice, we can strengthen ourselves by building a brain trust, controlling sexual energy, and transforming it into personal charisma. Through persistent effort and reflection, we can achieve both material and spiritual wealth. Positive thinking is the core of Hill's success philosophy. This mindset creates positive subconscious influences, guiding us to absorb beneficial information with an open mind while blocking negative thoughts and attitudes. This enables personal growth and development in an increasingly positive direction. Unlike methodology books that provide specific instructions or those that advocate for a complete paradigm shift, this book takes a different approach. As you accumulate more knowledge and experience, revisiting this book reveals that you've already been implementing many of its principles and achieving success through them.